Gong. For that was involved in creation of Blizzard Entertainment and Wix.com, and this is my new startup. Started that about a year and a half ago. When I first came to my investors and told them that I want to do a startup about news, they didn't quite like that, and told me that everyone tried to tackle that, and there are so many different filters and ways to find news, and they were absolutely right. But I think that what's missing is the understanding that what distribute news is people. And it's something that became a little bit more popular in the last year, but there's still a very large market gap there that we're addressing. We started our beta testing in September, and we're having pretty amazing results. And in the basis of that is the belief that most of us here grew up into the age of publishers, brand names, and when you hear about a company like CNN getting 1% of their audience through people that write CNN.com, you understand how the world has changed. When you hear about companies like ABC News getting more than 60% of their audience through Facebook, then you know that the world has changed. And when you hear about a company like BuzzFeed talking about the death of destination and how you should put your content everywhere, wherever people are, then you know that the world is changing. And we don't think that that changes Facebook. We think that Facebook is a generic social network, and like with any other piece of software that was out there that is social in its basis and is based on distribution between people, there were solutions that came after, say, Facebook, that were vertical. And we saw it in many, many different markets, and we believe it's going to happen with news, and that's the bet we took. So what's Gong? Gong is about the voice of everyone. Whether you write a piece of content, or whether you comment on a piece of content, or whether you just want to change the picture of the article to a different picture or a GIF, or record yourself and say what you think about that article, and that's your voice. And to those of you that know that Gong, the sound of the Gong is traveling the farthest than any other device, that's the musical device, that's the source of the name. We believe that people are the ones that are going to create a distribution, and the two other companies that I worked for in my life were also about that. Blizzard with World of Warcraft, empowering people to create their own story, and Wix with creating their own website. So strongly believe in that. We believe that we aggregate over 100,000 stories a day. And instead of looking at keywords inside the article, like for example Flipboard does, we find that less interesting. We do that, but it's not very interesting. What we found very interesting is to rank it by social virality across platform, emphasizing social cycles and similarity by passion. So what we do is we look at every piece of article, and what we track is every like and every share and every tweet and every favorite that happens on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on our own platform. And based on that, we aggregate an amount of information that allows us to predict within 5 to 10 minutes from the release of any article in this world, if you guys would want to read that. Then when we decided you actually want to read that, we just put it in front of you. And what we did since September is simply test the algorithm. We put it, some of you might have ran into our links. We put it in different places where you guys are reading about The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or politics, and the results are pretty astounding. We have a lot of people clicking on a lot of our articles with very high social engagement, because if you think about it, the ability to predict if an article is going to be social within 5 to 10 minutes means that we would put it in front of people that would likely share it themselves. So we create the social virality through that, and that's very important. We also allow people to contribute their own content. So similar to a small company called Medium, that you guys are pretty familiar with. That's something we're coming up right now. What is the difference between us and Medium? We believe that it's not only about deep content. Sometimes you want to be deep, sometimes you want to be really shallow, and what we should put in front of you is whatever you want to read right now, whether it's deep or shallow. So we're allowing for people to create content. We're allowing for people just to comment on content in creative way, and we allow them to create their own identity, because at the end of the day, our passion for something is creating communities, and communities creating discussions. That's our algorithm. In terms of this weird icon that you see here, what we found out while we were working on this is that publications are copycatting each other. So someone writes an article, and everyone is writing the same article. And what we want to do for you is not only to find for you an article that would be interesting for you, but to show you how many articles like that were written. And maybe you're preferring CNN or ABC or whatever publication, and you can just flip this article and see all the different articles that are similar to that. So if you're a Knicks fan and you want to see all the articles about the game that finished an hour ago, you can just flips and see everything that people wrote about the Knicks losing last night. And the story page is, again, focusing on exactly that, showing you how many articles we have for that specific topic. You can add the topic to your personal account, so you would get articles that are interesting in that specific topic. Again, not based on the fact that CNN released that, but based on the fact that people are reading it and are sharing it and interested in it, and you might be interested in that as well. We'll also summarize the article for you and make it easy for you to access the content. But if you want to read the full article, we of course send you to the publications itself as well. That's the discussion board. That's original content shared by people. We call it OG because I'm old and I thought that it's cool. And that is Gong. Anyone has any questions? Yes.
Uses sharing social information aside what we want to read. Is there any concern around creating more of an echo chamber on the one hand, and also since it's all about news, do you know if the news is a credible source?
Yeah. So actually, TechCrunch covered us last month. So he was talking about echo chambers and fake news, which are a big problem, as we all know. And actually, TechCrunch covered us very favorably last month. And one of the big reasons they did that is that we prevent echo chambers and we prevent fake news distribution. So on our system, we have only credible sources. And we're basically, we're not including any source that is suspected as not credible in any way. And in terms of echo chambers, the biggest problem of Facebook is doing a lot of amazing things, but one of the biggest problems is that they try to keep us happy, because when we're happy, we're consuming. So they're showing us only what we actually want to see. So if it's about politics, they would show you only what you want to see about politics. If you're a Clinton supporter, then they will show you content only about Clinton being really, really awesome. If you're a Trump supporter, they will show you content only about Trump being really, really awesome. And that's the problem with echo chambers. The problem is not the fact that there is social distribution. That's actually a plus. And what we saw in our system is that the days before the election, we could see a lot of articles coming out about Trump that were very favorable for him because they got a lot of social engagement. So we don't filter that based on what's going to make you happy. We just show you what people are talking about because you're interested in that topic. And I think it's a very different approach between communities and passion for a specific topic and trying to make you happy all day. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much. First of all, just really happy to be here and really proud of what you're doing. I mean, at the Wix offices, we used to host companies, as you know, when the community here in New York started. And it's also amazing to be here at AOL Video. Ron and us shared an office, Ron from 5min.com shared an office for a long time, and And it's really amazing to be in this place. So thank you very much for bringing everyone here.